Okay, let's just make sure audio's working. Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Madden 25 Los Angeles Chargers Rebuild Part 3 set of live streams. This is your boy, Malin. Here we go, getting ready to start year number 3. Last year was actually a pretty good year for the Chargers. We finished one game short of making it to the Super Bowl. We lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game in the last in overtime. I believe, yeah, it was overtime, which was pretty tough. And they went on a course to play in the Super Bowl. They lost to the Cowboys, but we still lost to them. And now we're trying to see if we can pick up the pieces and get over the hump in year number 3. That's where we are right now. We've spent a little bit in free agency this year. Roster looks a little bit different. It's looking a little better in some areas, but not overly better than it has been in the past. Justin Herbert, of course, is still our quarterback. We have Josh Dobbs and Cade Klubnik, who we drafted. Mainly just drafted Klubnik as a backup to be kind of a permanent backup, somebody that won't just be here for 1 year, and then we have to get another veteran quarterback like we did with Josh Dobbs. So we still have Herbert, of course, 89 overall. Ashton Janney won, I think he won Offensive Rookie of the Year last year, if I'm not mistaken. 90 overall running back. We still have Chris Rodriguez Jr., Vidal, and Jordan. We still have Matlock, our starting fullback, is 72 overall. Ladd McConkey, he had a breakout rookie season, did okay things the previous year. But Elijah Moore last year stepped up really big. He was the guy we signed in free agency the offseason before this past one. And we still have Johnston. We have Davis. Nick Harbor was one of our draft picks, a rookie out of South Carolina. We have Dole. Donovan McCulley didn't really get much playing time last year as a rookie out of Indiana. 64 overall is not bad, but he's pretty much probably just going to be a bench player. We have Levet, Royals, and Fleming. So, a lot of young receivers. We still have Will Dissly as our starting tight end. We have Shorter. We have Cole Turner. Slater, 94 overall left tackle. That's still pretty good. We did draft Trey Zunn last year. Didn't really get a lot of playing time, although he did have to start a couple of games because Slater was hurt. 71 overall as a backup left tackle is actually really not that bad when you look at it. Left guard, we still have Zion Johnson, 81 overall. We did sign Isaac Suamalo, 76 overall. He was actually available post-draft free agency. We got him here for 1 year, so that helped. We did sign Connor McGovern. He was one of our big free agent acquisitions, 80 overall center. Gus Miller is going to back him up, 66 overall. We were able to improve the right guard spot. That was one spot that I really wanted to improve after we had underwhelming results in the run game in the postseason. Like we would get down by the goal line and we just couldn't punch it in, and it was because of this guy. Now, we did bring back Trey Pipkins, but we found an upgrade in Ed Ingram, 76 overall right guard. Joe Ald, of course, is still here, 88 overall, already developed into a superstar trait, which is pretty good. 72, Illuminor, who was a free agent after the draft. I picked him up for a cheap 1-year deal, 72 overall, good backup there. Dato was one of our big free agent signings, 76 overall defensive end a couple of years ago. He's still here. Derek Moore progressed a little bit, but not much. That's our left end. Right end, I brought in a familiar face, DeMarcus Lawrence. He's been in the league for 12 years. This could very well be his last deal. I was a little bit hesitant because he's not a scheme fit guy, but 84 overall defensive end to me was a little bit too good to pass up. Hassan Reddick, he's a little bit better than him, although I'm okay with Reddick being the backup, although both of our defensive ends are in their 30s at right end. So that gives me reason to believe that we're probably going to have to, after this season, if there is another season and we can't win it all this year, continue to upgrade right end. And maybe you need this offseason. I tried the best to improve defensive tackle, but there really weren't many free agents that could be an instant upgrade. We still have Puna Ford, 78. Dante Corleone was our first-round pick this year. Coming in at a 72 overall as a rookie is pretty good, and we still had Patrick Jenkins, who we drafted a couple of years ago, but Corleone is better, so he's probably going to be the guy that we lean on more. Ford, I think, has 1 year left on his deal, so Corleone will probably take the reins next season unless there's a big name free agent defensive tackle available. We still have Joey Bosa, although I feel like he's getting to the point where he may start to regress. In real life, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Chargers actually released Bosa before free agency began. But here, I plan on keeping him until he dips really below 80s. He's still 82. We have a 77 Thule. Henley is still here, 82 middle linebacker. And we have Khalil Mack still here. I'm really surprised he didn't retire. I thought he would retire after this past season. But I think this season might be the offseason he retires. We did draft Wade Woodaz, what a name, out of Clemson. 63 overall doesn't really ring many of my bells in terms of how good he could be going into maybe next season. But hopefully there's going to be a right outside linebacker if Khalil Mack retires that we can replace with. We still have our two good corners, Asante Samuel Jr. and Tariq Steele. Still, actually, I think, made the Pro Bowl last year. Jabbar Muhammad is progressing, 76 overall. He's our third best corner. We still have Cam Hart and Bush, and Gentry Williams is a rookie we drafted out of Oklahoma this year, 66 overall. Hoping for progression there. Kevin Byard, we signed, one of our biggest free agent acquisitions. Although he's only going to be here for 1 year. He wanted a short deal. But we did draft Emmanuel McNeil Warren, 73 overall free safety out of Toledo. And I'm glad I did, because if Byard is only here for 1 year, then I think McNeil Warren may be the guy for next year. Starting at a 73 is pretty good, and if he gets some playing time, hopefully he can progress a little bit more. Derwin James, of course, is still here, and we have Hook backing him up, who we drafted the year before. Cameron Dicker is still here, and we do have A.J. Cole as the punter, one of the best punters available in free agency. So I spent this past off season. Not a lot, but I spent in areas where I feel like I could spend and was able to get some pretty solid veterans to hopefully make this team better and put us over the edge. But when you're dealing with the Chiefs, that's a whole other animal. So hopefully that can be something we can get back to. Slater, a new ability. Okay. Okay, we have to, we can do something here. Lifeguard, pass protector. I'm going to do that. Abilities. Go nasty streak there. Edge protector. Yeah, let's go with that. Slater up to 95 overall. I mean, that is a franchise left tackle if I've ever seen. He's continued to progress. There's been no regression with Slater, which has been pretty nice. And we're actually playing pretty well in the preseason. I know it's just preseason, but, we haven't played well in the preseason the last 2 years. But take that with a grain of salt. And I say that as we lose to the Cardinals to end the preseason. All right, we got some skill points to spend, so I'm going to spend some of it. I'm going to go to our offensive coordinator here because we had 16 points, and I'm going to use them on this pound for pound. That looks pretty good. Like I said, still going to stick with Harbaugh as the coach, unless we just nosedive in this year or the year after that. Yeah, we already have a media question to answer. Okay, because we played Denver in week 1. Go out and get a big win. I'll say that. Because I had to look and see who we were playing, and it looks like it is Denver in opening day. But we have to cut 6 players and get the roster trimmed down to the way that we want it. Of course, I'd like to keep all 3 quarterbacks active. We do have an extra running back. I'm going to go ahead and cut Jordan and keep 3 active at least. I might look to bring in a veteran running back this next offseason. Just didn't feel the need to because of how great Genty has been. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put Jalen Royals on practice squad, and I'm going to put Fleming on the practice squad, and we only got to make 3 more cuts. So let's do that. We don't have a whole lot of depth. We don't have depth on the offensive line at any position, so I'm pretty thin there, so I don't want to get even more thin. I'm going to put Justin on the practice squad. 3 defensive tackles I would like to keep active if we can. Middle linebacker. Flowey was one of our rookies, so I'm going to put him on practice squad. We still have to make 1 more cut or practice squad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to put Gentry Williams on the practice squad as well. So hopefully that'll help this development. We'll see. I don't hope these guys don't get stolen, but we'll see. That may happen. Okay, so nobody got stolen in the first week, so that's good. Okay, so I think I have a 2027 file because that's the next draft we're going to. Yes, this one. I believe this is the Arch Manning draft. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so yeah, this is the Arch Manning draft. Hughley, Nico, Newbie, Womack, Mitchell, Northrup. Yeah. Some of these guys, aren't as accurate towards the end, but, you guys have seen it before whenever I do rebuilds with them. It's the most accurate draft classes that I can get, so to speak. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season and see where this team is at. Are we going to be able to make the playoffs again? I really don't want to go backwards, because if we don't make the playoffs this season, then we're going to kind of go back to not square one, but, that's significant steps back. So not only at the playoffs last year, we finished one game short of making it to the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? 1-5 to start this season after getting to the NFC Championship. We must have somebody hurt. Who's hurt? Slater has been out, broken wrist. And Kevin torn pec out for the rest of the season. Jesus, we just lost our starting free safety. Well, you're going on IR, mister. I don't think that's been the sole reason we've started. And Corleone has a pulled groin as well, our rookie. First-round pick. Oh, God. Well, if anything is going to help our rookie free safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, develop, it's that. So this may be a year where we got to start evaluating talent for next year. I'm okay with keeping Slater not on IR because he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But it looks like Zune is going to get a chance to start for a little bit. I got to take a look at stats here and see what's going on. Offensively, Herbert, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's not good. Rushing, Jenny hasn't even broke the 400-yard mark yet. 6 TDs. Receiving, Johnson is leading 300. We got 3 guys in the 300 mark. McConkey actually hasn't even reached that barrier yet. Genty has us leading in receiving touchdowns with 2. Those must have been on screen passes. Shorter has 1, McConkey 1, Disley 1, Moore 0, and yeah. Defensively, we must be struggling. I mean, Byard, I don't know when he got injured, but it must have been like the first game or 2. Still, do we have... Samuel Jr. is leading us in interceptions. We have 1 from Henley. Still, Mack has 1. Sacks... 5.5 from Bosa, 5.5 from DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay, that's looking like an okay free agent signing. 3.5 from Ford. So we're getting after the quarterback at least a little bit. It must just be, Byard being hurt. I mean, you lose your starting free safety. That's not good. We'll do scouting national focus, but we have to sign. I'm going to sign a free agent, free safety because of. That's if we got Byard done for the season, that's going to be tough. So, I got a little bit of high hopes for the rookie. So I don't know if I want to really bring somebody that's going to, but you know what? I'm bringing in the Honey Badger to help out. I'm bringing him in. I know we got to cut a player because of that, but I'm bringing in the Honey Badger to help us out the rest of the season. This may stunt the development of our rookie, but it'll help, hopefully. So what does that do with our free safety spot? Of course, we got Byard out for the season. We're going to have the Honey Badger start the rest of the year. McNeil Warren has gone up a couple of points. So, but, Matthew, the Honey Badger, has been unemployed for the first half of the season. So I'm going to give him a chance. I don't know what Byard's ranking was, if I'm being honest, in terms of like what his overall was, but Matthew is looking, just as good. So hopefully we won't have too much of a drop-off because of that. Let me go to our offensive line area here. So Zone, I'm okay with him starting. Illuminor backing him up. I don't think I want to go out and sign a left tackle. So I think I'm okay with just letting the Honey Badger come in and help out at least a little bit for the rest of the season. All right. Well, let's see who's up, and we've got we only have $13 million to do it. Wow. So we've got some guys that I want to bring back for sure. Derwin James' interest is really up there, but $13 million, that's not a whole lot to work with. So, absolutely. Let me just try to see. Neutral deal? Don't have a salary cap to do it. Okay. Well, so I think I'm going to have to bypass any negotiations until we get to the end of the season and try to do some stuff that way. Unless I can actually restructure contracts now, but I don't think I can do that. They won't even give me the option. So yeah, let me take a look at everything here. Yeah, we can't restructure any deals because I don't think you can even do that until you get to the off season. Unfortunately, this means that we might have to trade away somebody to give us some more room. The trade deadline has already passed for this year, so we can't really address that until the off season. So I want to make sure that Derwin James is here because a 93 overall strong safety is something that you don't want to let on the market. In the meantime, we've started out the year worse than I could imagine at 1-5, and we lost again. We're 1-6, and we're not at the bottom because the Raiders are just as bad, but this is not good. And we actually play those Raiders this week. We lose this game. Okay, we beat the Raiders. I was about to say if we lost that game, I might have just said Harbaugh, like, you're on the hot seat now. It's a group that was assembled to win a Super Bowl, so it's time to wake up. I mean, this year I thought we had enough to get over the hump. I mean, I've never really heard of a championship game hangover, but we may be going through that, which really stinks. Let me see. Do we have any more money? No, we're still stuck at $13 million. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I can't do anything with any signings. So I'm just going to have to let this go until we get to the off season. The last opportunity before we let anybody go to free agency. That's the next chance that I can really talk to somebody. All right, we beat the Seahawks. We've got on a little bit of a winning streak. We've won 2 in a row, but that's not going to be enough to save us. You know, and we play a very good 49er team. It's got to go up the road, but still. And we beat the 49ers by 4. Okay, so we've won 3 in a row. We're climbing out of the basement at least, and at least we're not going to be the worst team in the division. So that's at least a little bit of a silver lining, but not very good. And we play the Raiders this week, and we beat them. We could bolster our schedule up. We could bolster our record a little bit. We blow out the Raiders by 21. Okay, so we've hit a little bit of our stride. We played some teams that are like just as bad as we are, under 500. We're 5-6. Denver's 6-6. Maybe we win against the Jets, who are 2-9. Maybe there's a chance, slim, but we'll see. Next couple of weeks will determine if we can rally, but I don't know. We beat the Jets by 2, although we're beating bad teams by pretty slim margins. So we've won 4 in a row. Pretty big. Actually, 5 in a row. I think we started 1-6. Yeah, so we've won 5 straight, albeit against pretty bad teams. And then, of course, here comes the big bad brother. If we lose, that'll put us 2 games behind Denver because they're second in the division. And we beat the Chiefs? Oh, my goodness. I mean, I know Slater is back in the lineup, but wow. Not only beat the Chiefs, we beat them pretty good. Gee. And we got the same record as the Broncos, 7-6. We play Denver in a couple of weeks. The Cardinals are pretty bad. And our winning streak finally comes to an end. So we're 7-7. Considering where we started, that's not bad, but like, y'all, I mean, starting out 1-6 just, I think, doomed us. I mean, I got to look and see what our schedule looked like in the first bit of the season. Was it like really tough? Okay, well, we had the Broncos. That's a pretty tough team. The Rams are, I guess, pretty good. Dolphins, okay. We actually beat the Chiefs for our first win of the season. So we've actually swept the Chiefs. Lose to the Bengals. They're a pretty good team, though. Patriots are probably getting better. Bills are pretty good. The Cardinals, that's kind of an embarrassing loss, especially them being 3-10. At this point in the season, when you're in like week number 16, then you kind of are what your team is at this point in the season. Week number. So yeah. Speaking of, we got another pretty bad team coming into our place. The Panthers at 3-11. What are the Broncos playoff picture? I didn't mean to take a look at that already. Of course, we're nowhere in the playoff picture, so I'm not even going to bother to look at that again until we maybe get to the last couple of weeks. Broncos are 8-6. We play Denver after the Panthers. And we beat the Panthers, okay, but we got a new injury. Who's hurt now? Elijah Moore has a quad tear. He's out 6 weeks. Our second best receiver done for the season. We're not probably going to make the playoffs, so I'm just going to bite the bullet and put him on IR for the rest of the year. Oh, I can restructure his contract? Hold on a second. Hold on. Restructure contract. We have $2.86 million. Okay. Fire. Can we? Well, we can't restructure his deal. He's only on here 1 year anyway, and I'm not planning on bringing him back. So Elijah Moore goes to IR. What does that do with our receiving room? I know that McConkey, of course, is our best receiver. Johnston is having, I think it looks a pretty decent season. Davis, Harbor. You know what? I'm not going to pick up another receiver. Actually, you know what? Let me go and sign just somebody from the practice squad. Do that, and I think I'm just going to do that on practice squad. Let's see. I know we have one receiver on the practice squad. Oh yeah, Donovan Green is on there. But don't we have somebody else? Because I thought I put someone in the practice squad. Oh, one of these guys. Let's bring up Royals. Actually, no. Green is better. Let's bring up Donovan Green. Let's move him up to the active roster. Yeah. Low tier receiver, but we're bringing him up to the practice squad just to fill out for the rest of the year because we got more on IR for the rest of the season. Well, that takes let me see how receiving wise we're doing in terms of statistics. Herbert's gotten back on a bet. Wow, 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Okay, he's starting to hit a little bit of a stride. So I will say this: even in the times that we've struggled, Herbert has been pretty consistent in terms of our quarterback. I mean, then again, when you have an 89 overall quarterback in these franchise modes, your stats are going to be pretty decent. It's just, with the rebuild of this team, it's getting the parts around him to help take the team to the next level. Herbert's been a stat stuffing machine. I know he hasn't made the Pro Bowl yet in any of the first 2 seasons that we've had, but he's consistent, and he's not showing any signs of regression, so that's at least good. So 24 touchdowns and 9 picks. Jenny has broken the 1,000-yard mark already, 15 touchdowns, having another pretty good season after that slow start. Receiving, McConkey and Disley, our tight end. Okay. Well, Moore was about to get to 800 yards. Johnston could, but McConkey will probably hit the 1,000-yard mark this season. So could Disley, but Moore being injured, I mean, he would have had 1,000 yards if he played the whole rest of the season, like these last several games. Johnston is having a pretty decent year, but outside of them, we're not getting a lot of help from other receivers. So I think maybe getting another 4th receiver is something I want to try to do this offseason. But we got to have the money to do it. That's the main thing. And right now, we just don't have that. So I restructured the contract of that one guy, but we only have $12 million. That's not enough to do anything. We can't do anything. We'll just have to wait until the end of the season to restructure everybody. Well, this game against the Broncos is going to determine, in my opinion, whether we make the playoffs or not. Because we have right now, let me show you the playoff picture. We're nowhere in the playoff picture right now, but the Broncos are in the playoff picture at the 7th seed. If we beat them, we can leapfrog them, maybe, in terms of records. But if we lose, especially since we don't have Elijah Moore the rest of the season, throws the hand grenade into the season. Do we do it? And we don't not only beat the Broncos, we shut them out, albeit 17-0. So but we're actually the 8th seed. We're still not in the playoff picture. Wow. So we could beat the Titans and still not make the postseason potentially. Well, the Dolphins are in the 7th spot. Let's take a look at scenarios here. We got to play the Titans. Let's go to the AFC. Okay, so the Chiefs have clinched playoff spot, 12-4. The Ravens are undefeated. They're 1 win away from breaking the Patriots' record because the NFL. Wow, history in the making. The Ravens could be only the 2nd team in NFL history, the 3rd team, to finish an undefeated regular season. Whoa. I'll tell you one thing. If we somehow squeak into the playoffs, that's a daunting task to know that we got to face the undefeated Ravens in their backyard at some point in the postseason to get back to get to the championship game and the Super Bowl. But okay, all right, moving on. The Dolphins are 9-7. We're 9-7. So maybe if the Dolphins lose, we win. That could put us in the playoffs. We're playing the Titans this week, who are 7-9, so they're not in the hunt anymore. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, this could determine whether we make the playoffs or not. The good news is that we're playing at home against the Titans. Let me actually change the uniform a little bit. I'm actually going to go with, let's see, current Color Rush. I'm going to go with the Color Rush uniforms for our final regular season home game against the Titans.
It's week 18 of the National Football League, and we've got the Chargers' superstar running back. He comes in 4th in the NFL in rushing touchdowns this year.
Yeah, Genty's putting together another phenomenal season. We've definitely found our franchise running back. Now we just got to find a way to beat the Titans and potentially make the postseason. But I think it also determines how the Dolphins do in their game. Meanwhile, on their first drive, Titans are threatening. 1st and 10. We got Will Levis as their starting quarterback. Don't get the sack, but we get in there with the pressure. Good defense. That was Lawrence. I know what you can do, D-Law. Tank. He was wide open too, though. James played very soft coverage out there. That was not what I'd like to see, but Lawrence. Oh my goodness, how did Derwin James, you're right there. What are you doing?
His drive has been excellent. A few shots now. It started with 6 as they come up on it. 1st and goal. Spears.
Oh, that was okay. I can't hate on that too much. That was a pretty good play design with the pitch out. It nearly got me, but Henley, fortunately, was sitting back there waiting.
Levis from the shotgun.
I was laid off the snap count. And, of course, he's wide open for the touchdown. And the Titans strike first. Right down the field. But got a red zone opportunity here.
Still on the move, coming to the line for 1st and 10.
Get this lead. Oh,
Off the mark there, incomplete pass.
that was off the mark. That was a bad throw, too. I should have waited to see if he was able to get free.
And it seems like at times they are the quickest reactions as well. You needed a quick one right there.
Good run by Genty. There we go. 1st down. Bit of ground and pound never hurt Harati. Well, it probably did, but, in terms of football, I mean, whatever. I don't know. All right, into the first quarter, down 7-0, but we got a chance to punch this thing in and tie this thing up.
Chargers ball as we get back for the second, and they are thinking points. Going to the ground again on 1st.
Oh, Jenny almost got it.
Down after a decent gain. The nose of the football inside the
All right, Genty, I need you to
Here's
punch this in,
2nd and
dude. Come on. And Genty, in the end zone, touchdown. No issues around the goal line there. So maybe that improved. But the Titans, they're playing hard. They're not just going to let us walk all over them and win and possibly get to the playoffs. We have to fight for it.
Working from the gun here, it's Herbert.
Oh, come on!
Holding up, they're able to drop him. We have a timeout now. Medical staff out to check on an injured man, and you hate to see this in the final week of the regular season.
Well, we'll settle for the field goal, but not great. Not ideal. Okay, well, our defense made a play. Looks like they might have gotten an interception.
4 downs now to get in. Here's first and goal. From the red zone now.
Oh man, the plate. Let's go no huddle a little bit here.
Chargers, hurry,
draw them off.
the seconds tick away.
I have no... I'm calling timeout. I'm not getting any time to throw the last few plays. O-line is getting demolished. We have no injuries. I hate that I had to take the 8th one, but I thought maybe he could, run that in. 4,000 yards for the season for Herbert, 25 touchdowns. That is quintessential Herbert, though. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I hate to just get a field goal here, but I'm just going to take the points. It'd be stupid not to. Still a whole other half of football, but been a very underwhelming first half. Especially if we're going to try to get to the postseason and make a run. Not playing very well. All right, but our defense made a stop. We got a chance. It's like second and a foot.
They go play action. Here's Herbert. Escapes the pocket.
Risky, just run it, Herbert.
He takes it himself.
All right. He probably could have scored there if I didn't do the dive, but still. I got to do anything I can to get this ball in the end zone. Because we got to score here. This is big. All right. See, touchdown. There we go. Second rushing touchdown for Genty. Let's go. Just what we needed. Now we're back on top. And we got the 2. Perfect. All right, it's the end of the third quarter. We're up 21-14, and you got 1 quarter left. So now we just got to put the finishing touches on this game and just see what happens. I haven't really been able to look at the bottom tick or anything. It's not showing like the scores of any other games. Well, it is, but I can't see it. At least not on the TV. I think on the stream I can see it easier, but I can't see it. I don't know.
Well, this certainly has been a memorable contest.
So we actually didn't get that first down. It's 4th and inches. Coach wants us to go for it. Let's go for it. All right, 4th and inches. Roll the dice. Come on. Oh, did he really? Oh, my God. We're still having problems, I think, with the O. 3rd and 4. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Get him! Okay, we didn't get the sack, but we forced a throwaway. 3rd down, that was huge. Good job, Deo. Way to get in there. It's 3rd and 5. If we can convert this, we start running this ball, finishing this game off. Disley, come on, I need you to pick up this first. There we go. I think he stepped out of bounds. Which, of course, I didn't want. That's what it is. Okay. I think I can start running it a little bit here. We still got a little ways to go before the 2-minute warning. But getting that first down, I think, was pretty critical.
And he gets a few on the plunge forward.
Hey, not a bad play by any means, but there's room.
I'm going to let this thing tick down in the 2-minute warning. And then, just running plays, back-to-back running plays. This is where we need Genty to pick up those hard-earned yards and just extend the drive. That's what we need.
With a 7-point lead.
We need. Come on, Genty. This is where you need to make your money. Earn your money.
Another carry for
Ooh, shakes him off like flies. Good job, Genty. Power running first down, over 100 yards. 19 carries. Let's go. Big day on the ground for him. Guess what we need.
brings the offense up now for a first
All
and
right.
10.
Now you can just run this. They have 2 timeouts left. You just got to make them burn the rest of them.
They give it to him again.
Get finish.
And he's got a
Well, if we
decent
don't make the
lead before
postseason for
being
some
bogged
reason,
down.
at least we finished with a
No surprises
10-7
here.
record,
Defense quick to stop that
and we
clock.
finished
We've got
and we won the
1:53
last
left in
home
this
game of the season.
After a
So we
good
at least
pickup,
finished for the
they've got 2nd and
fans.
4.
Give them something to be excited for, even if we don't make
Back to
it.
the ball
But
again.
got a feeling that they may put us in the postseason because of this. But it depends on, like I said, it depends on what the Dolphins get.
Their third and final timeout.
We'll have to see.
So the offense free
That's all
to
the
start running
timeouts
clock
left,
down
so I think
now.
I can afford to take knees.
They drop to a knee.
I'm not going to, go for the field goal, show good sportsmanship, just let the clock tick down. Just run it, not try to be aggressive here.
You could just run that clock down.
Well, this was a little bit of this was a tough game. I mean, in my opinion, this is not the type of performance that you want to see before you go into the postseason in terms of, how good you hope your offense looks before you play the really, really good teams. But if we're in the postseason because of this win, then great. But we had to overcome some in this game. I mean, we've lost Elijah Moore the last couple of weeks, our second best receiver. Unfortunately, today the running game, Genty really stepped up when he needed to. We ran for over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Herbert crossed the 4,000-yard barrier today, so that's pretty good. We finish with a 21-14 win over the Tennessee Titans to finish the regular season 10-7. Was kind of an ugly win at times, but we were able to get it done. And hopefully it's on to the postseason. The only question is it enough? Is this enough to get us into the postseason? And we'll see. Just have to wait and see what happens.
Well, that'll do it for us, for Brock Heward and our entire hard-working crew.
So let's see what our faith... Oh, the controller on the table. Sorry, guys. See what our faith is. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. We did not make the postseason. But you know what? Better to end the season with a win, a tough win. We've had 2 pretty decent wins in the last 2 weeks. The Broncos didn't make the playoffs, but they were in the hunt for a while. So the playoffs in year 3 look like this. We got the Chiefs and the Dolphins, the Bills and the Patriots, and we've got the Colts and the Texans and the Ravens. This is going to be pretty interesting, even though that we're not in the postseason. But we got a chance to witness history potentially for the first time. Because then again, I don't pay attention a lot of times to other teams' records when I do these rebuilds. So there might have been in one of these rebuilds in the last 2 Maddens that I've done, a team that maybe finished the season, regular season and playoffs, undefeated. But no team has gone 20-0. I mean, it used to be 19-0 when the Patriots in 2007 were trying to earn history that year. But now it's got to be 20-0. So, because there's one more game on the season, so the Ravens got to win 3 more games to finish the season perfect. Unbelievable. But they could do it. So, and meanwhile, in the NFC, we got the 49ers against the Lions, we got the Bears against the Rams, and we've got the Bucks against the Cowboys. And the Eagles have the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're the best team. They have the bye. So I actually just want to take a look at this Ravens team and see what they look like. Just because if this team does finish the season perfect, well, they have a 99 overall Lamar Jackson. That'll help you win a lot of games. They don't have Derrick Henry anymore. He must have retired. But Nicholas Singleton, a running back out of Penn State, I'm guessing he's a real player. 86 overall, I mean, that's not overpowering, but that's decent. They have a 70 fullback. They got a 90 Zay Flowers, an 87 Rashad Bateman, 80 Dontavian Wicks, former Packer. He's now a Raven. So they got a decent receiving core, but nothing too spectacular outside of Flowers. They don't have Andrews anymore. Luke Lackey is their starting tight end, 82 overall. 1 year second year man out of Iowa. Ronnie Stanley is their starting left tackle, 92. 78 Patrick McCarry. I think he used to play actually for the Chargers. 93 Tyler Linderbaum. 74 Dalton Risner. 85 Jonah. Savanea, right tackle. Matabuke, 94 overall defensive end. 74, Dante Stills. BJ Hill is okay. So I guess Lamar Jackson must be the main reason. 99 overall. Well, Roquan Smith is a 98 overall middle linebacker. Okay, that's pretty good. 80 overall. Adisa Isaac. 92, Nate Wiggins. Marlon Humphrey's a 91 corner now. 82, Ardarius Washington. 96, Kyle Hamilton. Okay, so they have some pretty good defensive players. But I guess a 99 Lamar Jackson will do it for you. So yeah. Keeping an eye on that just for the sake of me. But in the meantime, with our Chargers, we're going to be watching from home. At least we finished the season with a win in our final regular season game. So let's just see what happens in the playoffs, and let's see if the Ravens can make history. That's kind of what I'm going to be looking out for just from an outsider's perspective. All right, so let's check out what happened. The Ravens do make it all the way to the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs beat the Dolphins, the Bills beat the Patriots, and the Colts beat the Texans. And the Ravens took care of business against the Colts. The Bills beat the Chiefs, so Josh Allen got the best of Mahomes. The Ravens beat the Bills pretty handily. NFC side, the Lions go on the road to San Francisco and shut out the 49ers in the wild card round. The Bears beat the Rams, and the Bucs beat the Cowboys. The Bucs also upset. So the Bucs go on the road and upset the Bears. The Eagles beat the Lions, and the Eagles take care of the Buccaneers to get to the Super Bowl again. So they are going to face the Ravens. So the Ravens could make history for the first time in any rebuild that I've done and finish a season undefeated at 20-0. Let's take a look and see if any of our Chargers made the Pro Bowl first, though. Ashton Jeanty made the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career. He's up to a 91. He's the backup running back to Jonathan Taylor, but still solid. None of our receivers made it, or our tight end. Do we have any offensive linemen make it? Joe Alt made the Pro Bowl. Okay, so our right tackle made it up to 90 overall. That's pretty good. Our tackles are really starting to get better. DeMarcus Lawrence made the Pro Bowl. Okay, that's a little bit surprising, as old as he is. As well, I mean, how much he's got on the tire. I mean, he had a decent sacks at the beginning of the year. I'm guessing he kept it up. Like I said, could be his last year in the NFL. We'll see. I did sign him to, I think, a 2-year deal, but if this is it, not a bad way to finish his career. So that's 3 so far. No Derwin James. Okay, so we had 3 guys make it. We had Joe Alt, right tackle, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Ashton Jeanty made the Pro Bowl this year. Not bad. All right. Let's see what happens in the Super Bowl. Do the Ravens do it? Do the Ravens make history? Oh, they don't. Okay, sorry. I keep forgetting that I have to simulate to the Super Bowl week. All right, let's check out yearly awards before we see if the Ravens make history. The MVP is Mahomes. Coach of the year is John Harbaugh. Not surprising. Hey, you get a team to the brink of going undefeated, you deserve to win Coach of the Year. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lamar Jackson. That is not surprising. Jeanty actually finished 9th for AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Okay. Defensive Player of the Year, DeMarcus Lawrence finished 3rd for AFC. Wow, that's not bad. Talk about a free agent steal potentially, even as much of a older player as he is at this point in his career. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Dante Corleone finished 9th. Okay, so getting a little bit of votes. Best QB, Herbert finished 10th. Best running back, Jeanty finished 2nd behind Jonathan Taylor. Best receiver, no Chargers. Best offensive lineman, surprisingly, no Joe Alt in there. Best defensive lineman, DeMarcus Lawrence finished 2nd behind Myles Garrett. Best linebacker, Joey Bosa finished 4th. Okay. Best DB, no Chargers. Best kicker, Dicker finished 4th. Okay. So, All right. So let's see if history is made. Do the Ravens do it? Do the Ravens finish the regular season perfect? Finish the season perfect? Do they win it? They do. The Baltimore Ravens have become the first team in NFL history in the modern era since the extension of the season twice to finish the season undefeated and perfect. This is their third Super Bowl. The MVP of the Super Bowl was Lamar Jackson. Puka Nacua won Offensive Player of the Year overall. Aiden Hutchinson won Defensive Player of the Year with the Lions. Tyler Brown, Offensive Rookie of the Year, wide receiver of the Packers. Defensive Rookie of the Year, TJ Parker of the Dolphins. But the Ravens make history, and they finish the season undefeated at 20-0. No losses. It looked like a pretty good Super Bowl, though. It was a close one, so looks like it was a pretty good one to watch. Okay. Well, let's go to retirements, and I want to see if we had anybody retire from us. Some of the significant names. Nick Chubb was a Giant. He finished his career as a Giant. Cooper Kupp retires. So does Justin Tucker. Let's see. Do we have any retirements? Khalil Mack does retire. I mean, we did make the postseason, so I'm not surprised he decided to hang it up. And so did the Honey Badger. Well, Tyrann Mathieu, glad we were able to have you for 1 year and have you finish your career at least in sunny Los Angeles. But he retires after 14 years, and Khalil Mack retires after 13 seasons. So we have holes at right outside linebacker to fill for sure. So we're going to go and take a look, get into the offseason, see if we can trim that number down or make that number go up so we can have some money to do stuff. Well, we have $32 million now because of the retirement of Mac. So I need to create some more room than just $32 million because that's not going to be enough to sign who I want to sign and do anything in free agency. Fortunately, I can restructure the contract of Slater to free up $4 million. Ginty, we're going to be picking up his fifth-year option soon. It frees up a little bit of room, but not much. Let's go and keep looking. I'm going to look at everybody, seeing how much we can free up. We can't do anything with McConkey. Can't free up any money with him. What about Alt? Well, Alt is needing a new contract, so yeah, he's not going to pop up. I don't know why I'm looking at Derwin James. He's up for contract as well. About Herbert. I'll free up 32. Yes. Thank you, Justin. Thank you. That's just what we needed. Something in like a pretty significant number. But I'm going to keep going. Asante Samuel Jr. Yes. $1.66 million. Solid. About Still, our other corner. No? Okay. Well, that's a pretty good start in terms of freeing up cap space. I think Cole's got 1 more year left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we can't restructure his deal. I'm willing to let him walk and just get a cheaper punter. Punting is not a huge deal in this game, but I think getting Cole for the last couple of years probably helped out at least a little bit. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Okay, what about Henley? Can we restructure his deal? A little bit surprised that DeMarcus Lawrence is still going to be here for another year. So here's something that I'm thinking. I'm trying to see if there's anybody that I'm kind of maybe willing to also trade. Let's see, going into 2027. Okay, all right. Well, let's just kind of leave everything where it is for now. And let's get into the negotiating with our own players and see who we can bring back. We only have $71 million. But Alt, it's going to be Zion Johnson. Letting him walk is going to be tough. Thule is a backup. Henley is a starter. I'd hate, Lawrence was actually only on a one-year deal. Well, I still think, is Hassan Reddick? I think Hassan, no. Okay, well, this is going to be some difficult stuff. If we need to get these guys back when free agency starts, I think we can do that. Oh, Joe Alt is just the fifth-year option. Okay, yes, we will take the fifth-year option on Joe Alt for sure. Okay, that didn't cost. $71 million is still what we have left. Derwin James, I want you back. Good offer. Oh, we still got $54 million. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Can we afford to keep Zion Johnson now? Neutral? Exactly the offer. Down to $41 million. Okay. Now, you're going to have to walk. I'm going to let Henley walk. If we can get him back in free agency, I'll do that. But if there's a better middle linebacker, I want to see what else is out there. Lawrence, you've earned another contract for at least one more year based on how well you played. He earned it. But everybody else, even you, Reddick, we still need to get a right defensive end. Okay, and a new fullback. All right. But overall, we were able to answer media question. Derwin James going to be part of this team one way or another. We got the deal done. We got another media question to answer. Marcus Lawrence going to be part of this team one way or another. And he is. Got both of those guys to sign. All right. Well, we're going into free agency with not a whole lot of room. But with those contracts that we just dished out, I'm thinking, let me see how much we can spend in free agency as of right now at this particular moment. We only have $20.6 million. Jesus Christ. That's not enough. Knowing what I know. Okay, so let's get back to the team salary screen. And I want to restructure deals that we just did. Joe Alt, can we restructure anything even though he's... Yes. It'll free up a little bit, not much, but we got the fifth-year option on him, although we got to worry about signing him to a long-term deal down the line. Derwin James, I know we just paid you a hefty new contract, but that'll free up 6.22. I mean, Lawrence is only here for one more year, so of course I can't do anything with that. Zion Johnson, who we also signed. Okay. All right, that'll free up $3.13 million. That's good. All right, are there any other players that I could negotiate and restructure their deals? Elijah Moore, that'll free up some money. Johnston. Nope. We need a new tight end. This league's gone. I think McGovern is only here for one more year, but let me see if I can restructure his deal at all. Nope, I can't. Okay. So at least we don't have to worry about, like, offensive linemen too much. Ed Ingram is still here, of course, 77. We got a 90 Joe Alt. I think we're good as far as offensive line. Although if there's some positions, although in the draft, we can address that. What about Deo? Can we restructure him? Nope. Okay. These guys are young. We do need a backup right end to go behind DeMarcus Lawrence and potentially somebody like that. I'm hoping that I can get a defensive tackle that can be at least in the 80s. Because Poona Ford, now, you know what? I may just... Can we release him? And only cure a penalty. Okay. So you know what? I am going to trade away Poona Ford to somebody who might need a defensive tackle who can afford to take him off of our hands. Broncos, okay, they can probably afford that. And I just want to pick. I'll take a fifth rounder for him. Can we do that? Perfect. Because Corleone has supplanted him as a guy that could start. Not saying we're not going to look at defensive tackle in free agency, but that helps us out a little bit. Bosa. Okay, so this is where Bosa may start to regress. So I think, honestly, left outside linebacker does need to be a need because Bosa's starting to dip below the 80s. I still want to keep him, though. He has 1 year left on his deal. We're probably going to let him walk after the season. If he has to start this season, fine, but I definitely need to address that. And middle linebacker, yes. Right outside linebacker, 100% yes. We need to address. Corners are still pretty good because we have all of our guys intact. McNeil Warren, solid. Derwin James, Hook, Philip Duncan. I don't know who that is, random guy. We're good on special teams. Okay. So I think we've done all of the restructuring of contracts that we can do at this point. So now we just got to go into free agency and see what we can really do. We have $41.8 million, and it's not a lot. Okay, so we don't need a strong safety. We need a running back. Although Christian McCaffrey being 86 and a free agent, that's unexpected. Bacone Sr. could be a big upgrade at right guard, though. But I'm okay with what we have there. I'm just looking at the top guys to know, who's out there and all that. Okay, well, let's get to the linebackers. I think that this is where we can do some stuff. Okay, well, Thule is actually the top guy available. We, of course, have Joey Bosa for at least one more year. What about middle linebackers? Henley was the best guy. Okay, so I'm going to try to get him to come back. I'm going to go with the team friendly. No, you know what? Let me start out on the higher side. We're actually behind the Patriots. So you know what? Let's go a little bit more friendly than that. Team-friendly deal. Puts us in front. Okay, right outside linebacker, yes. We absolutely need to get somebody. Devin Davis, D. Winters, Devin White. But the top guy is Tyree Wilson, actually. Logan Wilson is pretty solid. Dorian Williams. And Tyree Wilson, former Red Raider. Hey. Send him an offer. Okay, we're actually his only deal. So you know what? Let's save a little bit of money here if we can. Go to a team-friendly deal. Or his only offer. Might be able to get him. Okay, oh yeah, defensive tackle. Forgot about that. Mozzie Smith. Mess around and get their Cowboys defensive line, basically. How much would that be an upgrade over what our current defensive tackle is, though? I know they're like a bunch. I know there's some young guys, but what would that do in terms of making it better? Well, getting Mozzie Smith would be rating him better than Corleone. So you know what? I'll put in an offer for Mozzie. Give him a chance to reunite with DeMarcus Lawrence. And Mozzie Smith is interested in coming here. And that's the thing when it comes to free agency. Like, I look for guys who actually are legitimately interested in coming here. Because if they're not interested, then you have to offer a whole lot more money in order to woo them. Okay, so let me take a look. We can still do 2 more negotiations during the first big wave and everything like that. So I want to take a look and see if there's any other positions that I need to address with finding a guy that's a starter. Oh, fullback, yeah, but second wave we can do that. Oh, tight end, yes, I almost forgot tight end. Offensive line, we're good there. Offensive line, we're good. We don't need to address any of that. 78, 84. In the second wave, I'm going to get a backup defensive end. And a backup left outside linebacker. That should do that. And a backup free safety. We'll get backups in the second wave. This first wave, we got to find starters. Okay, let's go to tight ends. Let's see who's out there. If Disley is the top guy, I might just bring him back. Wouldn't be surprised if he is. Disley's not the top guy. The top guy actually is Dawson Knox. Okay, Darrell Washington is actually pretty good too, so. Got this neutral deal action. but that brings us way down. Okay, well, you know, let's bump it down a little bit. Then again, we can restructure these guys after we sign them too. I love that it gives you that little flexibility. Okay, but Darnell Washington, he would be an instant starter if he comes here and he becomes our new tight end. So can't really do any more negotiations. Let's go to the next wave of free agency and see if we are able to sign any of the guys in this first wave. Let's see. Did we sign anybody? We got Henley, we got Smith, we got Wilson. Darnell Washington is still considering our offer, though, so that's good. But getting Tyree Wilson was pretty big. And we got Henley to come back to be our starting middle linebacker once again. We got Mozzie Smith, upgrade at defensive tackle for sure. So let's go ahead and I'm going to probably get the numbers right a little bit. Probably going to change Corleone's number. I feel like in college he had like a single-digit number. I'm going to try to see if I can change it to whatever that was and do that. Okay, so Dante Corleone. Dante Corleone. Okay, he wore number 58. He's also worn number 2, but that's being worn by Mozzie Smith. Well, that was Mozzie Smith's own number as well. Did Mozzie Smith wear a different number in Michigan, or did he not? I want to see. Like, Mozzie Smith. No, it was. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, let me change Corleone's number to maybe something in the lower digits. Can't change it to 2, but maybe I can change it to... you know what? Let's just leave that at 58, and I'm going to give Mozzie Smith a number in the 50s, but first, restructure his contract. Let's give him something in like the 50 range, so he at least... let's give him 59. New defensive tackle. Henley. Glad we bring you back. 1.7 million. That won't free up too much, but it'll free up a little bit. Tyree Wilson's the big guy. Free up a little bit, not much. Who's wearing number 9? Corner wearing number 9. Entry Williams. You know what? Somebody wearing 19. That was his original number at Texas Tech. Nope. Doesn't look like it. Okay, doesn't look like it. I think he can wear number 19, just like he wore at Tech. All right, let's give him number 19. Get back to his old Texas Tech days. Tyree Wilson, new starting right outside linebacker. You know, these guys weren't scheme fit guys, but they were the top guys that I could have get. So that was my thinking. And hopefully he'll be here for a little while. So not a huge, difference, but, a younger guy. Hopefully he can blossom here and be a good player for us. Henley, Bosa, 78, of course, 76. All right, we're still negotiating with Darnell Washington. So yeah. Did we free up enough to do like a low-tier signing? Okay, we kind of did, but kind of didn't. All right. We need a fullback. Reggie Gilliam. Let's see if we can get Reggie Gilliam. Team-friendly deal. Didn't eat up a lot, of course, but yeah. Back at defensive end. Floyd's pretty low, but yeah. Left outside linebacker, we need a backup there. Andre Carter the second. Bring him in for a cheap deal, so that way we can have some depth. Could use a third tight end. So you know what? Of course, I'm negotiating with Washington. Let's get one more guy. Some guy in the 60s range that isn't going to cost us very much. Braden Willis. Bring him in to be a backup tight end. Or third string tight end. Okay. So, second wave. Finishing up negotiations for Darnell Washington to come in and be our starting tight end, but also Reggie Gillian to be our new starting fullback. Leonard Floyd, backup defensive end. At this point of his career, he's probably only got 2 more years left in the league. He's pretty low. And Braden Willis to be our third tight end. Andre Carter II to be our backup left outside linebacker. All right, so let's see if we land any of these guys. Hopefully we get Washington, our new starting tight end. And we do get Gilliam. And we get Darnell Washington. Okay, so we've got our new starter. Leonard Floyd's going to come in. Braden Willis is coming here, and so is Andre Carter II. Okay, great. So I think the roster's pretty much filled to the point where we can kind of do whatever we want in the draft, pick the best player available. Yeah, Gilliam, 79 fullback. It's actually better than our last one. Maybe that's what we need. We need a better fullback. Don't know how much that would really help, but yeah. I considered trading away Quentin Johnston for a little bit in my head because we have, a good receiver and Moore. But I feel like that, Moore is going to be gone sooner than Johnston, and I want to go with the younger guy. So if we trade anybody, probably Elijah Moore. But I don't want to trade him because he's been pretty good for us. These younger guys, Harbor is at a 70. Harbor is at a 72. McCulley is at a 66. He's pretty much kind of looking like a little bit of a bust, even though he wasn't a big, early round pick or anything like that. But still. So Darnell Washington, 79 tight end, new starter, shorter, and we got Braden Willis as a backup. Washington's not a scheme fit guy, but that doesn't really deter me very much. 79 tight end. Hopefully he can get into the 80s at some point during the season. And that'll be, hopefully, a decent tight end. Although Disley was, I think, a 75. So, actually, that is an improvement in tight end because Disley was a 75. So Darnell Washington is an improvement there. All right, Slater, 83. Offensive line, we're good. Yeah, Leonard Floyd is going to back up DeMarcus Lawrence for 1 year. Lawrence will be here for only 1 more year, too. So we absolutely do need to draft a right end in the draft. We've taken care of the left side with Derek Moore, who hopefully will be a starter, or who's gotten some minutes and gotten some playing time. Corleone is coming on, but Mozzie Smith is a bit better of a defensive tackle, so I decided to go with him. Bosa, he could get up to the 80s again during the season potentially, but I don't know if I want to bank on that necessarily, just because of I don't know, and that's one thing we're just going to wait and see. Tyree Wilson, new starter, 75 overall. Good there. Oh, backup free safety. But we don't have any money to spend with that, so we could also get a backup. There could be a free safety in the draft that could be pretty solid to be a backup behind McNeil Warren. How much money do we have left to spend? $3.53 million. Maybe we get a very, very cheap backup free safety. Trenton Thompson, can we afford him? Barely. Oh, actually, that's okay. We're able to get him. Okay, so we've only targeted Trenton Thompson for 1 year, be a backup free safety. That's not going to cost us very much. All right, that's the last bit of free agency that I feel like we need to address. So let's see. Scouting delegates and staff. Let's see if we got Thompson to sign. Did we get Thompson to sign? Yes, Trenton Thompson did sign 63 overall free safety to be a backup. So we've taken care of that. Perfect. Not a bad free agency haul, but a pretty decent one. We did bring, once again, since Henley was the best available guy, even though we let him go, we were able to free some cap space. We were able to bring him back as our starting middle linebacker. I think that was very well worth it. I will say the money is starting to get pretty low, so I'm gonna give us some more money. It's $100 million real quick. Getting ahead of this before we lose even more money. I always have to do this, but I'm glad I learned this, so I don't have to worry about losing the team anymore. I can just I can just do this and add money whenever I need to, so that way I can keep the franchise going. Because this is a Chargers rebuild that I'm not just going to settle for hey, I was able to get to the championship game and get them back to a level of being competitive. That's not good enough for me. I want to be able to get this team at least to the Super Bowl now. So let's go ahead and get this up to $100 million. Perfect. All right, we'll start there. If we need to get more money during the season, we will, and then we'll do that. All right. So let me go actually to scout college players, and I want to see if Mock Draft 5 has been published. Okay. Well, Arch Manning is projected to be the #1 overall pick to the Raiders. Not surprised. Manning gets up pretty early, so. We're going to be picking at number 18, Brad Fitzpatrick of Alabama. Okay, that actually might be pretty tempting, but we did sign Henley for more years. Gerald Babber, I almost said Barber. Gerald Babber out of Florida State is actually a scheme fit guy, and he may be the better option, if I'm being brutally honest, because because we can always kick him out to left outside, especially Joey Bosa's about to retire. But we do need to address defensive end. Antonio Hills out of Tulane doesn't look too bad either. Is there another defensive end that's projected to go earlier in the draft? Deshaun Womack, but he's projected to go 3rd overall. There's no way he's going to slip to us. Other defensive ends at the end of the round. Okay, Antonio Hills. And Michael Kramer out of Memphis. Speed rusher, scheme fit guy. That might be the better way to go because I just feel like I want to get ahead of the curve with the first round pick. Because Lawrence is going to either retire or I'm going to just let him walk after this year. I only re-signed him for 1 more year because he played pretty well in a year that I didn't expect him to play very well, and he's getting up there in age. So I wanted to honor him with that contract. So I think defensive end is the better way to go. But I'm going to take a look at mock draft again and see if now that everything has been put in place with other free agencies, with other free agent calls, did they change the mock draft at all for us? I want to see if they did. Okay, I don't think they did. Let's see. No, they still got ready to pick Brad Fitzpatrick. That would be tempting if I didn't sign Henley to a new contract in free agency. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with that defensive end that I saw. So here we go, the 2027 draft. We got the 20th pick here. All right. So the best guy on the board is a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback. Antonio Hills, Brad Fitzpatrick. What about that other defensive end, that right end? Kramer. I'm going with Michael Kramer. We need to get a defensive end that's going to replace DeMarcus Lawrence next year. It says good pick. Didn't say excellent pick, but you know what? I will take it for our first-round pick. We needed that. All right, here we are. Second-round pick. Here we go. All positions. This Bayer quarterback is slipping, and so is Malachi Nelson. We could get a backup quarterback. C.J. Bernard actually doesn't look too bad. And I'm going to go with him actually out of Oklahoma. I know going, 2 defensive ends might not be popular, but I'm going to do it. Rebuild this defensive line a little bit. 3rd round pick here. All right. These quarterbacks are slipping. So I'm going to go with Malachi Nelson out of Boise. Oh, wait. Talent, undrafted free agent. That may be a reach. So I'm going to go with Bobby Bayer out of Georgia. Good pick. So I think we found our backup quarterback, at least for Herbert. Even though we did draft somebody last year, but later in the draft. So running back Jeffrey Blackburn doesn't look too bad. We have a Desmond Thomas of Oklahoma. I think it's a good pick here. Get a solid backup free safety. We'll build that up. Says good pick, B+. All right, we're making good picks. No C picks and no bad picks. So far this draft is going pretty well for us. And Blackburn, we do need a backup running back out of Ohio State. But with him, another good pick. All right. Good backup running back for Genty. Here we are in the 5th round. This Aguayo receiver is slipping. So I'm going to draft him, actually. He's slipping. Best guy on the board. Another good pick. Wow, this may be the best draft I've had in any rebuild. Every single pick has been good. There's been no excellent picks, but they've all been good picks. Then again, this is the first draft in a while that I've stuck with the best guys that are usually on the board. So that might influence that a little bit, but I don't know. Justin Smith I've drafted before. I don't like to duplicate drafting the same guys, but I'm going to draft Justin Smith out of Oklahoma State. The streak ends. Well, at least that's just one bad pick in this draft. But other than that, this draft has been pretty good. 7th round pick. There's some corners here that aren't that bad. Heath Huron out of North Carolina, actually, but is on board. I don't know if that was a good pick or a bad pick. It won't tell me, but we'll see. Okay, so overall, that might have been a draft that really is going to help us out. We got every guy is in the 70s except the last 2 picks, Heath and Justin. Everybody else is in the 70s starting out. Aguayo pretty much becomes our 4th receiver with that rating. Blackburn becomes, I think, at least maybe our 2nd or 3rd best running back. Desmond Thomas becomes a backup behind McNeil Warren. Bobby Bayer is definitely good enough with that rating to be our backup quarterback. C.J. Bernard, backup defensive end. Kramer. These guys may all be backups right now, but in the next couple of years, they could very well be the main guys. So getting a little bit ahead of the curve here. So that makes me feel pretty good about this draft. I'll see if any of these guys are real, because some of these guys I've never drafted before, so I want to see if they're even real players. Bobby Bayer. I don't know if he's real. Bobby Bayer. No, he's not a real player from Georgia. Okay, so he can still wear number 7, but he's our backup quarterback now. Cade is down to a 68, so he kind of automatically becomes 3rd stringer. But Jeffrey Blackburn, Ohio State. I don't know if this is a real player. No, he's not real. Okay. Well, he can still stay with whatever number he gets. But he's our backup running back now, 75 overall. Rodriguez, Vital, Gilliam, Mateo. I called him Matt earlier. But Mateo Aguayo. He's not a real player. Out of Florida State, though. But 81 is a pretty solid number. 74, Harbour. He's our 4th best receiver now. That's what I thought when we drafted him, and sure enough, he is. Probably should have drafted a tight end, but we got some guys in free agency. We didn't draft any offensive linemen. because we're kind of set there. C.J. Bernard might be a real player. Let's see. C.J. Bernard from Oklahoma. I don't think he's a real player. No, he's not a real player. Okay, but still, 75 overall. He's looking better than Derek Moore. Behind Deo, Lawrence, Michael Kramer. Okay, I don't know if this guy's real. Michael Kramer. Memphis. No, he's not real. Okay, so we drafted guys that aren't real players, but still. Backup defensive end for DeMarcus Lawrence. Might be looking at him being a starter next year. Drake Carter, Justin Smith. I know he's not real. We drafted a corner, right? Heath Herron, yeah, 68 overall. I mean, that's a solid, starting point for him. Free safety, Desmond Thomas, 72. Even though McNeil Warren is now going to be the guy to be the starter, we're giving him a chance being, a rookie learning behind Byard. Hopefully he becomes that. But I think Emmanuel McNeil Warren was a real player. So let me see if I can give him his real number. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Okay, there we go. Okay, so he was a real player. He drafted a couple years ago. He's number 7. Ooh, okay, we can actually give him his number now. I think we can. Yeah, okay. So listen, Bayer is not a real player, so we're going to give him some random quarterback number. We're going to start giving the guys who we have drafted. Give him 14. Back at QB. Neil Warren, we're going to give him his old college number 7. Second-year guy out of Toledo. All right. He's our starter now. 77 overall. Where's Maxim Hook's old number? Well, he went to Toledo as well. 25, but yeah, we're not going to do that. Duncan. What's Jabbar Muhammad? Search, yeah. Which is he was wearing number 7 as well. Okay, well, he can stay at number 27. We'll keep him at that. Okay. Well, I like the way the team is shaping up for year number 4. Hopefully next year we can find our way back into the playoffs because it was tough taking a step back. I guess the one thing that I will give this team credit for is that starting out 1-6 and being able to finish basically, 9-1 the rest of the season is pretty impressive. Jim Harbaugh was on the hot seat at the midpoint of the season. He's earned the chance to stay here, and that rating that we have is not that bad. That's one of the highest ratings I think I've seen for us. This next year, I feel like we've got to get back to the playoffs. The only thing that I can hope for is that, let me actually take a look at some of the teams in our division. I want to see what the Broncos look like and what the Chiefs look like going into next season. Okay, well, Patrick Chancellor, Ponex in 88. The Broncos, they signed Christian McCaffrey. Well, 87 is not daunting, and they still have Javonte Williams. Jeez, I'm surprised they're able to keep both of those guys as talented as they are. Oh, okay, well, no, I won't do it. There's a part of me that actually wants to trade for Javonte Williams. That'd be just to spite them. I don't want to do that. Okay, they got 80 receivers. They got 78 tight ends, 76, 89, 78, 93. I mean, they could be decent again this year. I mean, maybe. They got pretty good ratings across the board. What about the Chiefs? Holmes is still existing. Pacheco, 91. 92, Rice. 88, Worthy. Baldwin, 73. They don't have Travis Kelce anymore. 79, 96, 94, 81, 88, 79, 87, 87. Linebacker, that's okay. 99, Trent McDuffie. Did not expect that. Chiefs and Broncos are still looking pretty good, but I feel like we're catching up to both of them in terms of our roster makeup, in terms of ratings, at least a little bit. I'm excited about this draft that we had because we had all good picks except for the last 2 rounds. And all of our players, except for the last 2 guys, were in the 70s starting out. So that's a little bit better than drafts that we've had in the past. So I'm a little bit excited about that. Well, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.